Warframe is a massive and sometimes super confusing game, and there are mistakes that you can make in the very beginning that will absolutely wreck your fun trying to play. It'll suck all the joy you have of the game right away, and you'll move on to another game. Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm Vault Zero, and today we're going to go over 5 big mistakes to avoid when first starting Warframe. Alrighty, you've just booted up Warframe, you finished your first mission, you're back on your orbiter. The first thing that a lot of players are going to see is they're going to see this console on the right side of their ship, and they're going to begin going down the rabbit hole of looking at cosmetics. And that is a big no-no, especially when you first start Warframe. I'm going to pull it up for you guys, just so you can get a visual of what I'm talking about. But you're going to see things of various cost of platinum, which is the premium currency. You do not want to spend your platinum on cosmetics in the very beginning. Unless you have a large disposable income, then just don't let me tell you what to do with your money. But just know there are much better things to be spending your money on. All weapons and warframes can be earned in-game. I can kind of understand purchasing a warframe if you don't want to farm the frame up yourself, save yourself a little bit of time in the beginning. That's fair enough. But the main thing you need to be focused on spending your platinum on in the beginning, aside from warframes, is you have a specific number of slots that you are allowed to have for warframes and weapons and stuff, and those will run out very quickly as you progress the early game if you're not watching them. So I definitely recommend holding on to that first 50 platinum you have and buy yourself a couple slots instead of, wasting it on cosmetics that you're not going to need. Additionally, never buy resources or mods from the market. It is a huge waste of platinum. You will find much better mods out in the world doing missions. And while we're on the subject of mods, we're going to go ahead and talk about them. Number 2 is don't overexert yourself on upgrading your mods to the fullest of their abilities right away, because you're going to see in the corner of each mod a number, and that's going to tell you how much mod capacity that takes up to equip to a Warframe companion weapon, anything that it can be equipped to. And if you max it out, your chances are you're only going to have one mod on that early game item, and it's better to have a couple half upgraded or 3/4 of the way upgraded items than it is to have one fully upgraded item. You're just hurting yourself. Well, you may think you're helping yourself, but oh, look at that, my wife invited me to play. But you're actually hindering yourself more than anything if you upgrade your mod too highly too early. Moving on to number 3, and we're going to fly through these first few because I'm going to go on to a very important one near the end of the video. So number 3 is make sure, especially in the early game, that you are completing your star map as you're playing, as you're doing missions. These junctions between planets will give you really good rewards early on. They'll give you weapon blueprints, they'll unlock missions for you, they'll give you resources, they'll give you mods. They're worth doing. They're worth your time, trust me. And then also, when you complete the star map, you'll get a little blue icon over each location, as you see they have on Mars and Mercury and Zeraman. But once you completely fill out your star map and you've explored every place, you will unlock a mode that you can toggle on and off called the Steel Path. And basically what it is it's end-game content. It's some challenging content, and the rewards you get as you play the missions on Steel Path difficulty are just insane. They're the best items that you can get in the game, the best of the best. Yes, it's a challenge. It's pretty easy, honestly, still running with a squad I've seen, but definitely somewhere you want to be, especially if you want to get some of the best items and resources and such in the game. The star map is huge, I get it, and as you progress, you're going to unlock more and more locations, and you're going to unlock some of these open worlds where there's a bunch of different activities to do, so it's super easy to get sidetracked, and I understand that. Just try your best to at least complete the star map. I'm not saying you have to sit down every day and be like, nah, I'm not doing anything else until I complete the star map, but just at least make a conscious effort to complete the star map, because it will be rewarding once you get to the Steel Path and you unlock some of those in-game items. And here's a suggestion for some of you guys out there. Some of you may like to just get lost, and that's perfectly fine. Me, and I'm sure there are people out there like me who like to sit down. Every time I play Warframe, I sit down with a goal in mind. What do I want to get accomplished in this session? And what I would say is, if your goal is to get the star map done, but you don't want to just power through it and just do it all at one time, I would say, do 2-3 nodes a day. If you're and then do some side activities, whatever else you want to do in the open world. I think that's a good way to get the star map knocked out and get to the steel path. Alrighty, moving on to number 4. And number 4 ties right in with that. And this is, make sure that you don't ignore the campaign. I know there are people out there who are not really campaign type people. I have family members who also play Warframe, and in most games they're not campaign type people either. But in Warframe, it definitely behooves you to get into the campaign, because what you'll get from beating the campaign missions is you'll get exclusive weapons and other items that you're not going to get anywhere else. And some of these items that you can get, I don't want to spoil anything, but the absolute best items of their class that you will get your hands on, and you definitely don't want to miss out on getting them. Now, that being said, I will throw in a warning in here. If you complete a quest and you get a weapon, make sure that you do not sell that weapon for credits. I'm speaking from experience. There are weapons that I have sold because I was low on credits early on in my Warframe career, and I did not realize what a pain in the ass it would be to get them back. Still, there are still weapons that I still don't have my hands back on that I had. And this is why it ties back into what I was saying before about those slots. It's essential that you get those slots. Now, if you buy a weapon for platinum out of the Warframe market, the official market, you will get a slot with it. So Warframes and weapons are okay to buy, but I will caution you that you're going to spend $20 on a weapon or a Warframe that you could probably farm in 2 hours. But if that's not a big deal to you, then that's completely up to you. That's completely fine. The last thing I will move on to, and I feel like is the most important tip that you will hear this entire, if you take nothing from this video, this is the most important thing. Warframe is a player-driven economy. That means there are things that you can farm in this game that are tradable, and you can sell them to other players for platinum. That is both good and bad. I think it's really cool that it has its own economy in this way, but that means nothing has a set value. Whatever value you think an item has, if you can get someone to buy it for that price, that's how much it's worth. There are guidelines to go by. There are websites and apps that can help you in pricing your items. Not everything is tradable. You will see a little icon like this. These little 2 arrows pointing at each other on the end of the bar here, the chat bar. And that is also where you're going to be to engage in trade chats with the rest of the players that are currently online. Never, ever engage in trade chat unless you know exactly what you're looking for, you've done research, and you know the value of the item. Roundabouts. Like I said, there's no set prices, but if you use Warframe.market, or you go on Discord or Facebook groups, you can get a good feel for what certain things are worth what. There, I'm going to give you an example. The other day, I was buying the Ivera Prime set for my wife, and I went on Warframe Market, and I knew that that set was selling for anywhere from about 80 platinum to about 140 platinum. So I get on trade chat, hop in, say I want to buy Ivera Prime. Very first message I get is someone trying to sell Ivera Prime to me for 500 platinum. Now, that's a complete ripoff. Had I not known any better, I might have jumped on that. Well, let me tell you something right now. There are no Warframe sets or weapon sets that are going to sell for that much. The closest you're going to get to getting that much platinum from that item is going to be an item called a Legendary Core, which basically upgrades your mod completely without having to put credits or endo in. It just upgrades it for you to the highest level. Or these extremely complex and really high level, what they call ribbon mods. Those can sell for thousands of platinum. But those are the only 2 items you're going to ever find that sell for near that much. So if someone's trying to charge you 500 platinum for a weapon or Warframe, they are shafting you. Real quick, if you guys have made it this far and you're enjoying the video, if you guys would give it a like, and if you are enjoying the channel, I would appreciate it if you guys would sub to the channel. We would love to have you here. But long story short, since I knew what I was looking for and I knew roughly how much it would be valued at, I got a couple of other messages and I ended up buying the set for 120 platinum. That's a much bigger difference than 500. I'll tell you that now. Now, also, this goes both ways. Once you start getting into Warframe and grinding out different things that you may not need, like prime parts or mods or whatnot, you can also sell them to other players. And just remember what I said, that it's only worth what someone's willing to pay for it. And I know I've spent the longest section of this video on this particular topic. I know I flew through the first sections, but those are kind of like rudimentary. This is, to me, the most important aspect of Warframe, because it's your money we're talking about, right? You may not have platinum that you got up from farm and stuff. You may actually have opened your wallet and bought platinum, and I just don't want anyone wasting their hard-earned money, you know. So always be smart, be wise, do research before you open your wallet. Warframe has a really, really good community. They're excellent for new players, really friendly. But there are, with every community, bad apples, and people will rip you off if you give them the chance. And real quick, last thing I'm going to mention to you guys is a bonus tip. Join a clan, because you will get access to their research labs and access to weapons that you're not going to be able to find anywhere else. These aren't weapons that you can just grind out other places. They are specifically researched through the clan system in Warframe. But guys, that is going to do it from me. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, like I said, make sure to leave a like, leave a comment, and I will catch you guys out there in the stars.